Yeah, hi. Wow, it's such an honor to be here and speak with you guys. But I'll give you just a tiny bit of background.
This isn't probably quite the right match anyway, and
Right.
you probably anyway. But
Okay, so
but
go ahead.
there is must be something here. Yeah.
I totally agree, not the right match, and it sounds like, and according to my therapist as well, this is kind of like a gift or a
Sure.
blessing.
That's what I was.
Um, yeah, but so I've been staying. I would like to stay in the home that I moved into because I made a home there. I love it. It's in an amazing location. I kind of in the process of, I'll bring in like new roommates as the old roommate phases out. But it's sort of this like, how do I like move forward when I have kind of the ghost of this person and the ghost of my relationship, like all their stuff, despite being compacted primarily into one area. I will say he did leave it like art and stuff up in the common
Mm-hmm.
area. So I'm in the process of taking that down and consolidating it with the rest of his things. Um, One of the things he did leave though is like he left his sister's ashes on a shelf.
Mm.
Um,
You got to dump those. You got to dump them.
I guess he doesn't do familial relationships, long distance relationships either. I guess even if they're just made of ash.
I mean, but have they said that it's okay that you keep your position there? Is that all cool? Who's the
Yeah,
landlord?
no, that's fine. There was the landlord is not like aware of the situation yet
I
because we're
see.
kind of figuring out who's moving in and who's moving out, and
Bad news. She's a huge honeymooner, and she knows now.
hopefully not. They don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like I have the other roommate too. I don't cross paths with him much, but they're like decade-long friends. So
Oh,
it is this like
so there's some ghost in him too.
I think
Right.
you need to find out if he's cool with you living there, because you're like now sandwiched in between these two buds.
I know.
And I mean, have
I
you tried
did.
to look for another place? Like, I always know that wherever I live, I'm going to make it look cool and be
Yeah.
my home. So it's like maybe you can at least try to look.
Yeah, and so I am looking a little bit to see what's out there, but also in this area, which you might be familiar with, is like the cost of living
No,
is
it's
so
true.
so
Mhm.
for me to also get my own place, I'd be paying more than double what I
Yeah.
pay to have a room in this house that I think is like in the most perfect location. I can walk
Great.
downtown.
Can you not talk shit about your ex-boyfriend to his best friend? Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Because that'll make
I
it weird.
exactly. So I'm just trying to be like super respectful. Like it is what it is. And I know this other roommate too is kind of planning on moving in like August anyways.
So
And
your question is basically, how do you keep the house but make it your own and not feel like it has this sort of vestigial ghost of this
Well,
weirdo?
But is
yeah, and how do I like move on when it sort of feels like unfinished? Because at some point he needs to, come and get all of his
Mhm.
shit
Well, that's
out
the
of
deal you're making, You're like, I'm going to stay in this sweet place, but I'm going to have to like.
yeah, if you want to move on, you have to move out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That doesn't. I'm not just saying that as a clever saying, but if you do want to move on, maybe that is the case. Unless it's not. Is there a negative presence there for you? I mean, are you on bad terms with the ex-boyfriend?
I wouldn't say that it's like bad terms. I don't think that he did a good job of like leaving, and I don't think he did a good job of like wrapping things up
Hmm.
with me, but like it is what it is, and I think he's going through a lot with what he
Yeah.
has to go deal
Because
with and go.
if it's not that big of a deal, then maybe you'll just get used to it after a little bit of time,
Well,
and then that's it. you know?
I have a thought here. So basically, you want to win the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to win the house in like you were wronged.
They want to hang stuff up. I don't want your stuff to get
This
damaged. I
seems
would
like
highly
drama.
suggest.
This seems like drama to me.
That's what I would do.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. I mean, how now she
He's
just has
not
to
gonna come.
live with like the idea that he's gonna not. She has his sister's ashes there.
Well, also, if she's paying the rent on the place, he's just storing his stuff there, so he should just get that out of there. Just
Yeah, but
on a-
he's
on
not
a-
going to. He
Change
isn't.
the locks.
Oh, if he doesn't want his stuff, then just sell it.
No,
I
he
think.
wants his stuff, but he wants to get it whenever his hippie like didgeridoo barometer tells him it's time. And
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, totally. There's no time when I also have not heard from him since he left.
Here's the real reality of what you could do.
Maybe his mom didn't die.
The reality of what you could, maybe his sister didn't die. The reality of what you could do is you could, with all this money you're saving on rent, if it really bothers you, you could rent a small storage space and you have to pay for it. Because he's like, I just want my shit to stay there. But you go pay for this storage space, $60 a month, whatever it is. Like, I'm talking a teeny one. And you put it in there just to it's worth the money to psychically get it out of your physical space. And you tell them this is where all your stuff is. Whenever you're ready to get it, you can come pick it up.
Well, wait a second. What happens if she let's just say hypothetically she moved out in August along with his friend.
Yeah.
Now where he has to get his stuff out.
There is no, well, that's true.
What I'm saying is she even says, okay, well, I'm going to move too, so you need to probably get the stuff out of there because no one's going to be here. And then maybe once the stuff is out, you could sort of change your mind and say, well, I guess now that the stuff is out, I guess I will stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
An elaborate dance.
It feels like so unfinished, like where I don't feel like he wants to allow me the space to move on because it is this like, well, I will be by at some point, to get my things. Like,
he has to be by. If you're moving out, if everyone's moving out in August,
if he's poly, he has to be by, or it's just not fair.
You just have to treat him like a guy who's kind of like is like an acquaintance that that you find slightly annoying.
I think that's right.
That you just are like, okay, sure, yeah, you just doing what you need to do and give him the right dates or whatever. But it's no emotion, it's no talking. You're not available, and if he wants to see you, you're probably not going to be there.
Is there a shed?
There's no shed. There's just like a large like under the stair closet in the garage. So most of the stuff is compacted other than like what is in our common spaces, like just like art and knickknacks.
So you could theoretically just put all this crap into a space in the garage, cover it with a tarp, and never think about it again?
I think I could, but it's also this mysterious like, when is he going to reach out? Because he wants
this is where Natasha's brilliance is really shimmering on this call. Like, you could do the storage thing, but then you're paying $30 to $60 a month for a small storage space that you're paying for.
Probably more here.
Yeah, probably more. Or you could just, like Natasha's